¿Ya estando la música ya empieza?
I Love Micheladas.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the I Love Micheladas Show. I am Lernando Fopes. We have with us La Yoselin.
Yeah, La Jocelyn and Choco.
And Choco Fea.
Hey.
She's there hanging out. But yeah, dude. Jocelyn from Todo Verde.
Yeah.
Excuse her. She wants to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, is she on camera?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Kinda.
She'll figure it out. So, Todo Verde is a vegan restaurant.
Yeah.
You're vegan, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How long have you been a vegan for?
I've been vegan for maybe 4 or 5 years now.
Do people ask you that often? Is that like,
A lot.
Is it really?
Yeah, and I lose track of the time. Like I know I went vegetarian like at 30, and then it took me about a year to go vegan. So yeah, It's
Really?
about 5 years that I've been vegan.
And I'm sure you find it easy. It's like a lifestyle now.
Yeah, it's easy, although I just was mentioning that I just came back from a trip from the Philippines, and that was not easy. I mean, here in LA, it's definitely easier.
That's right. We're like in a vegan mecca here.
Yeah, it's like easy to find like fruits, veggies, and prepare it however you want to.
You can even find vegan michelada now.
I know. What's
So
up?
the
vegan
reason why
michelada?
we had Jocelyn over today, because we're releasing, and if you see this video, I mean, it's already out. There's our new vegan michelada mix.
Yeah,
And,
I'm excited about it.
And it's funny because we've had this product now for a little bit. We sell it to a few restaurants. We have some restaurant partners, and they wanted us to develop a vegan mix, and we did it. And when people find out, the first question they ask is what isn't vegan about the other one?
It's the Worcestershire.
The
right?
anchovies and the
Yeah.
Worcestershire sauce, yeah,
Yeah.
because like we make a michelada mix, it's like a real michelada mix.
Yeah.
So, michelada mix has anchovies. Here it is.
Cool.
And Worcestershire sauce is made with
Yeah.
anchovies. And you wanted to have some negra Modelo. So have you had a michelada before, or have you not?
I have.
You
I
have?
actually I like making michelada mix.
Okay.
I like the michelada mix a lot more than I like the beer.
Really?
I don't really drink, so beer is like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a filler. But the this is like nothing to me. Like
Really?
if I were you, I would have filled
We'll
it
do
up to.
This is all you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Or how about this? Let's pour the beer in there. You try it, and then you adjust it as you like.
Okay, just don't pour too much beer in there. Leave
No,
some space.
I mean, hey, we're gonna pour the whole beer, and then we'll drink as we go.
All right, gotcha.
So let's see, Negra Modelo. And it's funny because we have a lot of customers who really like the mix with Negra Modelo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives it like I don't know, like a nice, because I feel like it's slightly heavier, that beer.
Yeah.
So it feels like, I don't know, like a more well-rounded drink.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like it light, like if it's really hot out.
You have like Modelo Especial?
Yeah.
Cheers. It's a good beer.
That's really good.
What do you think?
With the tajin.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of michelada? It tastes like a michelada?
Tastes like a michelada. It has like a nice kick of acid. Choco, don't do
Hey,
it.
get off, Choco.
There's about to be an accident happening
I know.
here.
This girl wants to drink. She loves micheladas too.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
can
not
see
true. It's
that.
not
I can
true.
see that. Yeah, it has like a nice punch of acid, which is really good, and
Yeah.
I like that like tomato feeling in it.
Mhm.
It's like everything a michelada should be.
Yeah.
You know?
It's from the ground up of michelada.
Yeah.
The thing that I hate most is when I go somewhere and I order a michelada and it's not a michelada. It's like
Yeah.
Bloody Mary mix. Or
That's
it's like,
the worst.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Well, the worst is like the assumption that it's the same thing.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's like a totally different.
It's totally different.
Yeah, like I was actually researching a bit more about micheladas
Mm-hmm.
because I'm writing a cookbook, like I mentioned earlier, and it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? About
Well, tell me your version, because there's so many there. I feel like micheladas is like, I mean, like Bloody Mary in that the story, there's like a million stories.
Yeah.
Or like, like bourbon or anything, like any famous thing.
Yeah. So apparently the story that I've heard is that there is a General Michel that was in San Juan Potosí, and he would go to a bar and order a beer, but he would order it with limon y sal y chile, and he would make it his own. And slowly after that, people would start asking for their chelas, like Michel style, like the Michel style, right? So it turned into eventually the michelada, is what I've heard.
Really?
Is that the same thing that you've heard?
I've gone into bars that have like magazines on their doors about how they invented the michelada.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone invented the michelada.
Everybody invented it and everybody's the best.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was like the most real feeling of
It's
where
like
it came from.
It's anchored in some sort of history.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of that in a lot of folk tales.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't trust
Definitely
anything.
like, oh, it's just like, it's Michelada.
I actually meant it to micheladas.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your service to Mexico, right? But yeah, it's
So
such a good drink.
let's talk about Todo Verde, because I feel like it's a super interesting story. You guys are now on your way to opening up your brick and mortar.
Hopefully so. Knock on
Hopefully
wood.
so.
Right, Choco?
That the whole kind of tour and how you crowdfunded it, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience? Crowdfunding a restaurant?
That was a lot of work. That was like a full-time job in itself.
Yeah, right. Like, cause you're raising money.
We asked for $50,000, and a lot of people thought that we were really crazy to ask for that amount of money because it just seemed like so much.
I feel like it's so little to open up a restaurant.
I know, it is so little, and it still is like just a fraction of the cost of
Yeah.
what it would cost to build out. And so, you know, everyone got really excited about it, and it just showed me that people on the east side are like ready
Yeah.
for more plant-based food that's specifically catered to like our generation, our population. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of work. Like, a lot of people were asking tons of questions about it and like trying to figure out how to support. And
I support. I got my apron.
That's right. Yeah, I'm sure it's like somewhere around here. And now we're working on trying to open up a location. We were looking at a spot in Boyle Heights, but right now I'm looking at another one in Huntington Park that is already a built-out kitchen.
Okay.
So I think that the funding will be more fitting for something that already has a restaurant.
Yeah,
built
that way you
out.
don't have to build up the actual kitchen and the
people
plumbing.
don't know how expensive that is.
Very
I'm looking
expensive.
at like $300,000 versus like $40,000 to $50,000.
Yeah, because at that point you're just like the decoration. You're just decorating it.
Exactly. Yeah, and like bringing it up to code and speed and like making sure that everything is like in working order.
So right now, where can people find Todo Verde? Like, if someone wanted
Yeah.
to eat your food, where can
Yeah.
people find it?
Well, they can for sure find us at Smorgasburg with I Love Micheladas
I Love
on
Micheladas, the bar.
Sundays at Smorgasburg.
We've had the vegan micheladas there for a long time now.
Yeah, and we even collaborated for a little bit
Yeah,
too.
we had the aguas
the
frescas.
spiked agua fresca. And so they can find us there every Sunday from 10 to 4. And then we do catering. And sometimes we do pop-ups here and there too. So like people just have to look out on our Instagram or website.
What's your Instagram?
It's Todo Verde.
Todo
Just
Verde.
Todo Verde.
It's all green.
It's all verde, all green. And yeah, hopefully we'll be open before the end of 2019. So
That is ambitious.
That's the goal. There's a lot of moving things happening right now with that and the cookbook. And
How did you start cooking? Have you always been a cook? Is that something that kind of you fell into? How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, growing up, it's just like it became like inherently a hobby just from being around like my grandmother and tias and my mom. Although it kind of skipped a generation with my mom. Like, my mom doesn't really love cooking the same way that my other family.
She's more on the eating side?
Yeah, definitely more on the eating side. Like, she loves to eat food, but like to make it, she's just kind of like, oh, I don't really know. It didn't really come out that good.
Yeah.
Like, she's very like self-conscious, and so like it makes her kind of not want to cook.
Okay.
But then growing up with my grandma, I was just like, she was the matriarch of our family. So whenever we got together, it was like, oh, we're all in the kitchen. We're going to help her do whatever she wants to make for us today. And so I learned a lot from her. And then, believe it or not, like just being so much about food, like growing up, just Food Network and like watching KCT, like food shows on Saturday mornings, like that was like a huge foundation for me too, because it exposed me to food, like aside from just like my own cultural food. I have like a love-hate relationship with, oh my gosh, I can't remember, Rick Bayless.
Rick Bayless.
Just because I feel like he exposed a lot about Mexico to me that I didn't know. Like, I knew about Zacatecas, I knew about, you know, guisados from where my family's from, and our types of tamales and our types of pipián and all that.
Yeah.
But then seeing his show, it just showed me so much more about Mexico that I had never learned before.
That's the love side.
Yeah, that's the love side. The hate side is just kind of like, oh, he took up space when it could have been like somebody like us having a show like that. Like, he took up space, right? And made it so that, you know, he.
But you could also say that he helped open it up for other people, because now there's other people who do look like us that are out there, right?
Yeah, true. But yeah, at the time he was the only one. Like, he was the only one that I could look to for reference.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I see it as like both. Like, it's good that he, you know, if he wasn't there, who would be there?
And now you took up the mantle. Now you're there.
Hopefully, people.
Well,
see
you
it
know,
in
you're
that
there.
light, right?
I mean, you're there. You're cooking. People can actually try your food, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, with me, I'm really trying to put something out there that still feels that same nostalgic flavor and feeling of like eating at your abuelita's table, but it's plant-based, right? And so I still wanted to feel like super flavorful, like you crave it essentially. And that took a while to get there because like people think, oh, you make vegan food, like you must make like just ensalada de nopales and like kale salad and just smoothies or whatever. And like we did start off with smoothies, but always with the back of my mind knowing that I want to do food, but I need to like learn the business side and grow in increments, like not just like open a restaurant from nothing, you know? So it's interesting. Like,
what was the first event you ever either catered or popped up? What was it the first time you did it? Was it like a really small? Did you like go straight into the deep end?
It was really small. I started at Highland Park Farmers Market.
Okay.
So I started.
What did you do? You did smoothies?
Smoothies and agua fresca, and I was using produce from the farmers at the market.
Okay.
So like I would show up with no produce and just buy everything there.
And make it at the spot.
Make it. So I would just show up with superfood, ice, and like almond milk.
So what time would you show up?
Just like a couple hours before, like set up the tent and then like go shopping and start breaking stuff down, like washing stuff and like getting it ready for smoothies. So that was like really easy because all the prep was there.
Yeah.
Now like our prep is offsite at another kitchen and then we take all the prepared food there. It's like
what was your best seller
production.
in the beginning?
Definitely our Serio smoothie is one that we still make today. It's an avocado smoothie with it has maca root in it and almond milk, kale. It's just like a really good green smoothie. Like I think the green smoothies that I typically see out there are like kale and celery and green apple and stuff like that, which is cool. But like I wanted to make something like in South America because my dad's Ecuadorian. We have batidos de aguacate, right?
Oh, okay.
So like aguacate is not just savory like it is in Mexico, it's sweet too. And so I wanted to be able to include that in a smoothie.
So it was like an easy transition for you
totally.
that it was like natural for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's surprising how popular and big licuados verdes are in the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
Like they're huge. Like the whole smoothie craze that people, you know, like it's like a big craze now, but it's like been big in Mexico.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people like in Mexico tend to fall towards like using like piña to sweeten and then like espinacas. Piña con espinacas.
I feel like Mexico, they just go by the color. Like if it's green, it's healthy. Like they don't even care what's in it.
Yeah, exactly. It could be like 90% piña and like 2 leaves of spinach and it's
as
like
long as it's green,
saludable, you know?
Or betabel. It's like betabel is the healthiest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
I remember I had a surgery a while ago and I couldn't open my mouth. I had like something happened to my jaw, so I had to like I had my mouth shut like Kanye West.
When?
For like 2-3 years ago.
Oh,
and
I
then
did not notice
but then
that.
my dad was like helping. He would like come over and like make food for me, and I was like helpless, right? So it was my dad was like, oh, it's my time to like feed him healthy.
Oh my goodness.
And he would just throw betabel and like anything green he would find. He would just throw it like random with like without any say. And I feel like to him, the weirder it tasted and the greener it was, for the healthier it was.
Yeah.
So if I would be like, oh, today's was better, he would like, I probably too much sweeten. I'll put less tomorrow.
Oh, like he's trying to give you all the healthiest.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's like, it can't be too sweet.
Yeah, it can't taste good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome though, because that's like, I mean, to a certain extent, like people want that like cruciferous, like green flavor, because then it feels like, okay, like I didn't have to chew the salad, but I'm still drinking the salad or something like that, you know? So they still feel like they're getting all the like vitamins and minerals from it.
All the healthiness.
Yeah.
So how did you transition from smoothie into food? What was the first kind of things that you started adding to your menu?
Oh my gosh.
Was it like one thing, or was it like, okay, I'm gonna add in all the food?
I added in like maybe like 5 savory menu items, and really the transition was we started working at a commercial kitchen space.
Oh, so then you could.
And so then we could make food, because before then there were a few spaces that I looked at, but they're all so expensive, and like finding just kitchen space to work in LA is like hard enough as it is, and expensive. And so then that became available, and I was like, all right, we could do more here. We have access to what we need to do more here.
And what were the first 5 things?
We did a mole almendrado with mushrooms, a jackfruit. I think we did just like a regular like kind of carnita style jackfruit, a 3 Sisters salad. What else did we do? Oh my goodness, I can't remember. I think we started doing pipián right at the beginning as well.
And you were already a vegan by that point?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. I started Todo Verde in 2005. I had already been vegan for I don't know how many years.
So it was a part of your original...
Oh, yeah. And like, I mean, part of the business plan even of starting Todo Verde was like, You don't know how to run a restaurant yet, so start small at farmers markets. So that was phase one.
So the goal was always to open up the restaurant.
Yeah, but it wasn't going to be right at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was going to be, that's phase three.
Like it was your own university.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like you have to slowly like learn the business as you go, and like also to invest all that capital. Like I can't imagine back in 2015. 2005 is like forever ago. Where am I? I'm already like drunk off of the michelada.
Off a little bit.
So back in 2015, like I can't imagine even thinking about spending $300,000 on a restaurant. Like no way. Even the 40,000 would have been like that. There's no way I can do that. Yeah, because it's like I don't even know if I have a product that's worth it.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was literally like putting the product out there and seeing like, will people pay this amount for it? Will they come back and have it again? Will they bring their family? Like, could it become a part of their lifestyle?
Was there a certain point where you realized where you were like, okay, now I can, or was it just the real like doing it as you went, and even now you're still kind of like you're pushing yourself from behind? Are you pushing yourself from behind, or are you getting pulled from the front?
I think it's a little bit of both, you know? I think that at that time, people were like, oh, I wish you did food. Like, do you cater food? Oh, no, we only do drinks. It's like, okay, well, they're already asking. Yeah. Like, I know it's a part of the business plan, but like, maybe I think I'm not ready for it yet. But then there's somebody who's asking me for it. Just like almost every other day we get a phone call, like, are you open today? Like, I'm right here outside of Smorgasburg. Are you open today? And I'm like, oh my goodness, like we're only there on Sundays.
Yeah, Smorgasburg only happens on Sundays.
Yeah, but it's like, it's letting me know that people are showing up. Like,
There's
people
demand.
show up to our kitchen that we work out of to try to like eat.
Oh, really?
But you can't eat there.
How do they find out the address? Like, does it come up on Google?
You know what? They go on Yelp and they zoom in. There's no address. They zoom in.
And they just kind of go.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
That's
but
funny.
That just shows me that, okay, like I want to do this, but they're also pulling me in the direction that I need to like move a bit faster. Yeah.
What's been sort of a lesson on the business side that you were kind of surprised to learn, or surprised that you took to it so easily?
Oh my gosh, that I took to it so easily?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that...
What's your favorite non-cooking thing that now you realize that you're actually good at?
I mean, I think that I'm trying to be a better leader. You know, in my previous job, my previous life before food, I was in higher education. So I worked with a lot of students.
What'd you do?
I was a professor, and I was also coordinator of student life. So
What'd you teach?
I taught social justice and civic engagement,
Really?
leadership for community building, and some other classes that were like transitional for students transferring in. And so I worked a lot with student leaders on campus. And I knew that, you know, in this role with Todo Verde, it's only going to be me, right? But like me as I guess like the main leadership role, but that I still wanted to provide a space that allows people to like step into wherever they're trying to go, you know? And so that's been interesting because like everybody's on their own path, and like, you know, some people really take to it and like, this is a learning opportunity for me and I want to do something with this, even if I don't stay here for, you know, 5 years, 2 years, whatever it is, but they really own it. Others are just kind of passing through. And so it's like really kind of like trying to gauge like where people are at and like what they're interested in, and how I can like fill that gap of like, okay, this is what you're interested in, and like this is what we do, like how do we find like the middle ground so that you're happy here, you know? And so I think that that's something that I'm definitely always going to be like growing into, because it's like sometimes it's hard to have those tough conversations, you know? When you're just seeing like somebody's not where they should be, or they're not working to their full potential.
Or they're better off not in your organization.
Yeah.
And like you have to like be like, hey, you're probably not better off here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So all those conversations are like tough, but there's a lot of really great conversations. And I actually have a staff member who's been with me for about a year. And she just got offered a position that's like exactly for her.
No
it's
way.
Like the perfect job for her. It was almost like made for her. And she met up with me and she's like, hey, I got this job offer and like I'm torn. I don't know what to do. Like I love working with you, and you know, like I love what we've built. But like this job is also like really intriguing to me. And I was like, take that job. Like I'm so proud of you that you've come this far, and like people are seeing you and like reaching out to you to try to offer you jobs. Like it just shows me that, you know, she's continued to like grow on that path, right?
That's amazing.
So that for me is like really cool. Even though it's sad to see her go, it's like, all right, that's awesome. Like she got like her dream job for the moment. You know, I hope that it's like a long-term
That's
like,
awesome.
dream job. Yeah.
Back to the food real quick. I started this question. So you were saying you made like jackfruit mole and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
How do you come up with, do you try to come up with vegan versions of food, or do you try to more find something that's completely different and make it its own thing? Because I feel like this conversation happens a lot, both on the inside and on the outside of vegan food, where it's like, sometimes it's like, oh, there's vegan turkey, right? Where it's like something trying to be something that it's not.
Yeah.
Whereas other people just try to be like, oh, I'm not trying to be turkey. It's its thing onto it itself.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. Like, I don't use any of like those soy processed meats or anything like that. Although, like, there's one that's like a more clean version that I'm looking at. But I just feel like I do mushrooms and mole. It's like, mole is really good.
Yeah, mushrooms
are really good.
It's not like the
but
mushrooms
it's not
trying
like
to be
chicken.
something.
It's not chicken.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not forming it into chicken or trying to do anything like that. Which I feel like a lot of vegan spots do, right?
Yeah, and that's where I get confused sometimes. Well, there's a vegan restaurant that I go to. I didn't even know it was a vegan restaurant.
Really?
Because
Which
like
one?
I would go, it's called Grain Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah.
I love that place, and I would go, but I didn't know for the first 5 times that it was vegan.
Really?
One, because it's really good.
Yeah.
Right? When it's really good, you just kind of eat.
Yeah.
And 2, because I saw some things on the item that said like, it would say chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But then like later on, at like the 5th time, I went back and I was like, oh, no, it's just like chicken, but it says like tempeh.
Yeah. So it's interesting how people like try to like flip it a little bit.
But it's like a transition period in the industry, right?
Yeah. I think that that's the way that people are trying to catch folks who are maybe considering plant-based food. Because if you tell people like, oh, eat this, it's vegan, they just won't do it. They won't go out of their way to have it. So it just has to like look delicious, taste delicious, and that be it. Like one time we were at an event, and I had somebody working the front, and we were serving food there, and somebody came up and was like, oh, what are you serving? And she's like, oh, it's all vegan. And the woman was like, oh no, like I don't eat vegan food. And she like stepped away, and I was like, you can never say that. Like, don't ever say it's all vegan. Just say what it is. This is mushrooms with mole. This is jackfruit with this. They'll ask what jackfruit is, explain what it is. Like, just go through like what the food is, but don't claim it as like, oh, it's all vegan. They won't listen to you.
Like it's food that happens to be vegan.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, as long as the flavors are there, like they came following their nose to find the food, you know, but they just need to try it to see. And a lot of people see the jackfruit especially, and they think that it's meat. And so we've even done events where they're like, oh, I'll take the jackfruit whatever bowl, but like I'll do it without the meat.
And
we're like, no, this is the jackfruit. Like, this is what it is. There's no meat. So it's interesting. Like, we do cremas and cheeses and stuff like that too. And like, people think it's like the real deal. Yeah.
Well, not the real deal, but it's the other deal.
The other deal. Yeah. Not to say that it's unreal, right? Yeah. So it's interesting. It's interesting how like I feel like right now we're really at a crossroads where people are starting to also see plant-based food as like not just a trend, you know, in passing, where like, okay, today it's hot and tomorrow it's gone. Like you see like all this like paleo and all these other like keto diets and stuff like that. Like it'll be gone and then people will forget about it. But I feel like people are really seeing it as a real opportunity to like work with their health, work with like
a way to integrate it into your health, right? Lessen your meat intake. You don't have to be fully vegan.
Exactly. And that's the thing that I tell people. Like, I know that vegans will probably hear this and like freak out. But you know, I just tell people, like, encourage them to eat more plant-based. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be vegan. So if that means that cut out like 2 or 3 meals of meat in your week or more, then that's a success in my eyes, you know? Because the reality is like not everyone's gonna go vegan. So like, why push it so that people feel like they're never gonna be that? So
it's not like an all or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like trying to find that middle ground, you know?
When someone comes to Smorgasburg and comes to your booth, what do you recommend? What will be your ideal first customer's purchase? Yeah,
I mean, I try to gauge like what they feel like eating. Sometimes it's hot and it's like, oh, do you want something refreshing like ceviche? We have ceviche.
What do you make ceviche with?
Heart of palm. Yeah, it's good because it has like this like kind of like crab-like texture or something like that. The flavor is there too. So I'll ask like where they're at, or like the taco trio is really popular because we have 4 different taco options. We do a mushroom tinga, we do jackfruit and pipián rojo, mushrooms mole, and then we have a jackfruit with pipián verde and crema. And so they can choose like any one of those for a taco trio. And so then they kind of get like a little bit of a sense of the flavor profile of like what our food is like. And then a lot of times like some people are kind of shy about it, so they'll get like one taco. Like they'll get like, oh, just give me the one mole taco. And then they'll go and they'll try it.
And they'll come back
and
for the
then
rest.
they'll come back for the rest. Yeah.
That's ideal customer.
Yeah, because then they try it and they're just like, oh wow, like I didn't realize it was actually gonna be good, you know? So it's.
Is that more of a compliment, or is that more of a? How does that feel when someone's like, I didn't think it would be good?
I think it's a compliment still. Like, yeah, it could be a little like dish at like, oh, vegan food is not good, but it's like, try my food, like, you know?
Yeah, because you're more than vegan food. You're your own food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of vegan vendors out there doing like vegan tacos, and they do different types of meats and stuff like that, and that's all cool too, you know, but it's like you find the things that you like and gravitate towards, and like how could you like work that into your more like routine, I guess, you know? Yeah.
When you're not eating your own food, what do you eat?
Oh my god.
Here's a question. What's your vegan guilty pleasure?
Oh my god. I really like eating at this spot in Pasadena called My Vegan. And they have like really good orange chicken.
Really?
Yeah. It's like the orange chicken.
The orange chicken? It's like tempeh or something?
Yeah, it's like spelled like CHKEN, you know, like chicken. That's really good. And then their tom yum noodle soup is really good.
Really? I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I really like that spot. It's like definitely like, it's fried stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's like the guilty pleasure, you know? But I cook a lot at home as well. And then there's like a lot of really good food vendors, like vegan food vendors, that are just like selling at pop-ups on the streets.
A lot more than people think.
Oh, a lot more. Like if you go to York on Tuesday or Friday, it's like crazy packed with all these vegan vendors, especially on Fridays. Yeah, there's like so many good pop-ups right now. And some that are maybe not as good, but it's like, it's cool because like people are just exploring their like different flavors in plant-based, you know? And some of them are like hit or miss, but like for the most part, they're like everybody's kind of like trying to do something in plant-based, which is cool. It's like the movement is there, you know? So, yeah.
All right, so if people want to find you, one more time, where can people find you? Where can people try your food? This is your chance to get the word out and invite people.
All right, and I think did we say that at the beginning?
No, let's do it again.
Okay. So people can find us every Sunday at Smorgasburg from 10 to 4. They can hire us for catering. They can...
That's through your website?
Yeah, through our website and...
TodoVerde.com?
Yeah, todoverde.org.
TodoVerde.org.
And they can look out for the cookbook coming out, spring 2020.
What's your personal Instagram?
My personal is _Yoselin, which is actually a funny story because a lot of people call me Yoselin, but my name is Jocelyn. But that's just when my brother grew up calling me Yoselin.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why it's called La Yoselin.
Everybody ends up calling your Instagram name now.
Yeah, it's like, how did Instagram become so powerful that I can change my name?
People call me Learnando.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, people are silly. It's all good.
All right, well, cheers. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
And enjoy the michelada, the vegan michelada.
Yeah.